I never thought I would become this person. The one who unraveled everything, who stood at the center of a storm of my own making, the architect of a love's demise. But here I am, bathed in the harsh light of retrospect, the echoes of my choices still ringing in the profound silence I now inhabit. This isn't a story for sympathy. It's a confession, a raw accounting of the path I walked, the mistakes I made, and the heart I ultimately shattered. Alex. Even now, his name feels both sacred and tainted on my tongue. We had a love story that felt plucked from a romantic novel. Passionate beginnings, shared dreams painted in vivid hues, a future that stretched out before us, boundless and bright. Our laughter was a melody that filled every corner of our home, our silences comfortable, imbued with an understanding that transcended words. He was my rock, my confidant, the man I swore I would spend my life with. And I meant every single word back then, truly. The cracks, when they first appeared, were imperceptible, like hairline fractures in a seemingly solid foundation. We were young, ambitious. His career began to demand more, and so did mine. Slowly, almost insidiously, the edges of our shared world started to fray. Our late-night talks dwindled, replaced by exhausted sighs and the soft glow of separate screens. Our touches became less frequent, less lingering, more like habits than expressions of deep affection. We still said "I love you," but the resonance behind the words seemed to diminish. A quiet hum instead of a soaring symphony. I felt a growing distance, a subtle chill seeping into the warmth we once shared. And instead of addressing it, I retreated into myself, nursing a quiet loneliness I barely acknowledged. That's when Liam entered the picture. It was at a professional development seminar, a networking event I almost skipped. He was engaging, witty, and held an intensity in his gaze that was both disarming and intriguing. We started talking about industry trends, then quickly drifted to personal passions, shared frustrations, and eventually, the deeper aspects of life that felt absent from my everyday conversations. He listened, really listened. His eyes would crinkle at the corners when I made a point. A genuine smile would spread across his face, making me feel as if everything I said was profoundly interesting, deeply significant. It was a potent balm to the quiet neglect I felt, a dangerous antidote to the creeping feeling of invisibility. His compliments were subtle at first, observations about my intelligence, my perspective, my energy. They weren't overtly flirtatious, but they resonated with a sincerity that Alex's tired platitudes no longer held. I found myself looking forward to our chance encounters, then actively seeking them out under the guise of professional networking. A lunch meeting here, a quick coffee there. Each interaction was like a small dose of adrenaline, a rush of being seen, appreciated, desired in a way I hadn't felt in what felt like an eternity. The guilt was a faint whisper then, easily drowned out by the renewed sense of vitality Liam awakened in me. The line blurred so gradually I barely saw it vanish until I had already crossed it. One evening, after a particularly stressful work project had concluded, Liam suggested celebrating with a drink. Just one, he promised. One became two, then three. The alcohol loosened my inhibitions, amplified the connection I felt. We talked for hours, the world outside our intimate bubble fading into insignificance. His hand brushed mine across the table, and a spark, undeniable and electric, shot through me. It wasn't just physical. It was an emotional recognition, a feeling of finally being truly alive again. That night, after we parted ways, I felt a knot of anticipation in my stomach, a mixture of excitement and dread. The next morning, a text, then another, and another. The descent was swift. Dinners became clandestine meetings. Late nights at the office turned into stolen moments of intimacy, hushed conversations, furtive glances, and eventually, the ultimate betrayal. Each lie I spun for Alex, each elaborate excuse, felt like a fresh cut, a wound to my own conscience. But the thrill, the attention, the escape from my growing unhappiness was intoxicating, a powerful current pulling me further and further away from the shore of my commitments. I was living a double life, a fractured existence. One part of me was still Alex's partner, navigating shared routines, offering superficial affection. The other part was an entirely different person, vibrant, reckless, lost in the intoxicating haze of a forbidden connection. The guilt, however, was a persistent shadow. It clung to me, a heavy cloak beneath my forced smiles. I would watch Alex sleep, his face peaceful, innocent, and a wave of nausea would wash over me. How could I be doing this? How could I betray such genuine love, such unwavering trust? The shame was immense, but the immediate gratification of Liam's attention, the fleeting sense of belonging, was a powerful, addictive force. I told myself I would end it, repeatedly. I promised myself I would confess to Alex, that I would face the consequences. But the fear of losing everything, of shattering the illusion, paralyzed me. I was a coward, trapped in a web of my own deceit, too afraid to break free. It couldn't last. The universe, or perhaps my own tormented conscience, has a way of bringing things to light. It wasn't a dramatic confrontation or a misplaced text, though those were always my deepest fears. It was the quiet questions, the subtle shifts in my behavior, that Alex, despite his previous preoccupations, began to notice. My guarded phone, my sudden late nights, the emotional distance that grew into a chasm. He didn't accuse me outright, not at first. He just looked at me with a question in his eyes, a deep, unsettling sadness that broke something inside me. And in that moment, the weight of the lies became unbearable. I confessed. The words tumbled out, raw and painful, a torrent of truth that had been dammed up for far too long. The silence that followed was suffocating, heavy, with the weight of shattered trust. I remember the exact way his face changed, the light draining from his eyes, replaced by a profound, agonizing pain, a pain I had single-handedly inflicted. The words that followed were a blur of accusations, tears, devastated honesty, and heart-wrenching disbelief. Our home, once a sanctuary of shared dreams, became a battleground of broken promises. There were no winners, only casualties. The hardest part wasn't his anger, but his quiet despair. The realization that everything we had built, every memory, every promise, was crumbling because of my choices. He left. Slowly, deliberately, he gathered his things, his memories, his presence. The quiet that was once comfortable became deafening, filled with the ghosts of our laughter, the echoes of a love I had so carelessly discarded. Liam faded too, a temporary balm for a deeper, self-inflicted wound. The initial thrill was long gone, replaced by a hollow ache, a profound sense of emptiness. The fleeting excitement I had chased had dissolved into a bitter residue of regret. Now I'm just here, rebuilding, understanding, sitting in the rubble of my own making. The blame falls squarely on my shoulders. I was unhappy, yes, I felt neglected, unappreciated. But those feelings do not, and never will, justify my actions. I chose the wrong path. I should have spoken up, confronted the issues with Alex, sought counseling, or walked away with integrity and honesty. Instead, I chose a cowardly escape, a fleeting distraction that ultimately caused immeasurable pain to the person I claimed to love. Cheating, I've learned, isn't just about the physical act. It's about the erosion of self-respect, the destruction of trust, the ripple effect of pain that extends far beyond the immediate relationship. It taught me invaluable, agonizing lessons about communication, self-worth, and the true, uncompromising meaning of commitment. It is a scar I will carry, a constant, vivid reminder of the person I became, and the person I vow never to be again. I hope one day Alex finds peace, finds happiness, finds someone who will cherish him without reservation, someone who understands the sacredness of trust. And I hope one day I can forgive myself enough to truly move forward, carrying the lessons, but shedding the overwhelming shame. This isn't a story meant to justify my actions. It's a confession, a cautionary tale, and a testament to the devastating consequences of choosing a temporary escape over honest confrontation and courageous communication. It is my story, laid bare, in the hope that perhaps someone else, standing at a similar crossroads, might choose a different, more honorable path.